What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So yesterday I did this video, right? Who stole what from who? And it had to do with was it Lazy Boy went to No Jumper, first Raza rapper from Northern California to go. Is that true though? I thought Burner was a Northerner, not like banged out, but anyways, what do I know? So Lazy Boy went over there, and I was fine with the interview. I thought it was a cool interview. There was other people that felt like he didn't. There was bottles in the comments that are from Northern California that felt he didn't represent correct. That's your guys' thing. Or that's not even your guys' thing. That's your thing with him, and I respect it. That's how you feel. Hold on a second. Let me turn my phone off. But there was some interesting things said in the comment section that leads me to this video. So there were people, talking about how in Northern California, one guy actually said Northern California is 20 to 30 years ahead of Southern California. And I was just like, wow, do the cars fucking drive in the air or something? Like, what's going on with that, right? Shout out to everybody in Northern California, but for real, it's like, how does it become a competition, eh? How does that happen, right? And so it I like to keep shit real. I like to give my opinion, my perspective based on my life experiences. I can't talk about anyone else's experiences, why they view things the way they do. They do it because of their personal life experiences. So let me clarify some stuff, okay? When I hear all this, oh yeah, in Southern California, you guys are racist. In Southern California, the blacks and Mexicans never get along. How do you know that? There are certain bottles that are real cool with certain hoods and been like that for decades. Did we have racial violence and racial tension down here? Yes, we did. Everybody knows that. But San Diego didn't have that. There's certain parts of Southern California that didn't get involved in that. Okay. But let's keep it real. I remember having conversations with blacks in prison, and they told me they didn't like the Northerners from the Central Valley because they said, in their own words, they try to be like Southsiders. Why? Because they weren't using the same slang that's used in the Bay Area. We're going to keep it real. Let's keep it real. So is it that the Bay Area is 20 years ahead of Northern California, the rest of Northern California and Southern California? Like, come on now. This is just, it's so funny how people say these things and I just wonder, like, look, I've never been to Northern California. I've never hung out there. I don't know how the get down is. And honestly, I'm a old man at this point. Thank you. I know somebody said, damn, you look good for your age. I heard you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But no, seriously, I can't talk about Northern California as if I know. There's fucking no way I can say whether Northern California is ahead or behind. Where do these things come from? And why is it overlooked? It's this whole, look, and I'll even say this. In my experience, having done decades in prison, I interacted with a lot of Northerners, especially in the SHU. I interacted with a lot of Northerners from the Bay Area. And I'm going to tell you this right now. And you guys up north know this. Let's keep it real in the comment section. San Jose is the Bay Area. Never heard them talk like the guys out of Oakland. Never heard them talk like the guys from Vallejo. Like Vallejo, how you say it, right? All of the Bay Area isn't on the same page. So where do we get these blanket statements? And why does it become a competition? We're on the streets. Unless you're really gangbanging and you want that to be the rest of your life, why do we split hairs like this? Like I said, my opinion is, and people are like, no, you're just not, we just grew up together and that's why we talk that way. Listen, those of you that have children right now, speaking to the raza right now, those of you that have children right now, you got a 2-year-old in the house. How does he speak? It isn't until he gets out in the street. It isn't until he makes friends and decides, hey, I like the way that guy talks. I want to talk like him. Then they change their vernacular. They change the way they walk, the way they dress based on the friends that they're making. But they don't grow up talking using the N-word and all this. And nobody does, right? It's a choice. And so when, those that were saying, no, when I said both, I agree. When somebody says they're still in the northern estilo is not the northern estilo. It's just a rap estilo. It's a hip hop estilo that was stolen from the originators of hip hop. And yes, there were Puerto Ricans and Dominicans involved in the beginning, in the beginning stages of hip hop. But the reality is, it was created by blacks. Rap was. So was rock and roll. People are going to faint. Rock and roll is actually, you can go on PBS and you can see the old documentary, the creation of rock and roll. Little Richard's one of the founding members. Rock and roll was a black slang term that meant to have sex. Rocking and rolling. That goes way back. But yeah, so I always give credit where credit's due. I don't think that anybody is stealing from the North, their style. I don't believe anybody's stealing from the South. I think that people are so blended now. And I think that in some way, maybe down the line, it may alleviate a lot of the stuff, but it makes it take longer when you have people like like wanting to debate, like, oh, they stole that from me. What? If they mimicked you, they say mimicking is the highest form of flattery or some shit like that, right? So if somebody goes and gets a tattoo, the same tattoo you got, that brings more publicity to you. Who gives a damn who's doing what? Just get your money. But I wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. To say that the Bay Area is 30 years ahead of it, there's people in the Bay Area that don't talk that way and don't dress that way and still stick to, it's not as big as it used to be. Just like in Southern California, it's not as big. The Cholo style is not as big as it used to be. And it's a trip because it seems like it's making a comeback, but for kids that aren't banging. I don't know how that's going to play out in the long run. But everything old becomes new. Everything repeats itself, right? And this video isn't. I know this is going to be one of those. It's a Saturday. People are hungover. People have things to do. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this video and just point that out. Where, hey, I don't give a fuck. I'm not biased, right? When I make my content, I want it all inclusive. I want everybody on board. This is how you affect change. I try to affect positive change in people, right? So that's why I was like, you know what? Let me just point something out. Let's not do the whole and also, I don't catch every single comment, but I would appreciate it if people don't get in the comments and use racial slurs. I had to delete some yesterday. I don't need nobody banging the North or banging the South. Let's keep it cordial. If you guys want to gangbang, you got to do that in the streets where it counts. It never counts in the comment section. It actually makes you look like a fool. That you really are so banged out that you have time to be writing on your keyboard. Let's not do that. Let's try to get away from that mentality. Let's try to get real money. The streets don't have no money for you. Streets have a little bit of money that brings a whole lot of time with it. I don't give a fuck if you made $1 million on the streets. It's going to probably come with a 25-year term. That shit don't weigh out right. Think about it. But hope everybody is safe and uses their brains today. We don't need anybody getting in no bullshit. The prisons are all packed. They got enough people. The county jails got enough people. Let's stay out here and enjoy our families, man, and our loved ones. With that said, everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out of here.